right, welcome to Daybreak as we continue. And like we told you today morning, we are talking about a very interesting topic. It is Valentines in just under 48 hours. And it gives us an opportunity to explore love and the expectations therein. I've asked a question there that I would like you to give feedback on at Willis Oburu and at Citizen TV Kenya. So let's say he doesn't appear or show up for Valentine's or do anything special for you for Valentine's. Do you really exist in his life? The hashtag to use is Daybreak, and the SMS line is 22422. But then we'll also explore other things, because I've seen memes that say that my sister, if on Valentine's he's busy, now no, you are his deputy. I've also seen other men saying, nakwani siata sisi this time around to treatiwe. And there's so many expectations that happen on Valentine's Day. But we'll talk about unreal expectations also, just generally in relationships. The hashtag to use is Daybreak. The SMS lines are also open. Kama kawaida, I encourage you to open your hearts on 22422. That's the SMS platform, 22422. Joining us is Welly Odendo, karibu sana, dressed for Valentine's, ready, complete with happy socks. He's ready and set. Then Anita Ray, who is anti-Valentine's. And she will tell us why. Karibu sana. And then CJ Atemo, who will give us his position on the same. But welcome, guys. I guess every time people are building up to Valentine's, there's always this talk and expectations that are there. That always gives an opportunity to talk about, relationships and just the expectations that are normally there. People always say relationships is about what I can give to you, not what I can get from you. However, as you approach Valentine's, there's always the give. And if you don't give, I'm gone. So maybe let's start with that perception. We'll start with you.
I thought
ladies first.
Ladies
all right,
first.
Since my mom might be watching, let me keep my position as the good son. Ladies first.
So what's the question again?
The question is the expectations. Are there unreal expectations during this Valentine's period?
First of all, I don't even understand why people wait for 365 days for one day in an entire year to show their love. I genuinely do not understand. And the expectations, red flowers, red dresses, red
velvet cake, red seats.
And the saddest thing about Valentine's, it's not a two-way street. It's a one-way street of women receiving. Now, I keep asking, where did that come from? And you see people say, I'm anti-women. I'm not. Who said Valentine's is about women? Where did that come from, Willis? Valentine's should be about love, right? Then it's give and give. But women have a list right now of what they want and the places they want to be taken. And they don't understand. People are still broke. Wamelipa madeni January. And these women have unrealistic expectations on Valentine's. You want flowers, you want cake, you want him to treat you out. And most probably you've been dramatic the entire of last month. Nasikia sayo kipigia women, they are picking phone calls like customer care, like, hi darling, how you doing? But what I don't like about Valentine's is on the 15th of Feb, you go back to factory resettings.
Yes.
She's going to be mean again, she's going to be bad. So why are we doing that for one day? I keep telling people every day should be Valentine's, not one day in an entire year. Then after Feb 14th, to go to next year, Feb 14th, no. I don't support it at all, at all.
So, well, also in that regard, they are accepting calls. I don't know. Your call may be recorded before. Please note, your call may be recorded to enhance our services. So does it also, is this a time that, like I was saying, we can put relationships on the microscope to see that maybe there needs to be, like she's saying, a sort of equal. I'm not saying there's a difference between equality and what I'm just saying, like we need to talk about our roles, define our roles, and what we expect of each other.
I think that's the unfortunate thing about human development, is that they adopt cultures and they can easily embrace a culture. And I don't think it used to be an African culture, but it has been sold to us as though it is a necessary part of the relationship to assess whether that relationship has a future. There is no particular day or event that should measure the strength and the quality of a relationship. And so, unfortunately, when the day starts coming and now emphasis begins to now be on the day than on the person, eventually what is going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of what I would say hypocrisy in loving and hypocrisy in relationships, because it is easier for me to prepare for a day, but it is more difficult for me to live a prepared life. And so when we begin to create sensations around Valentine's Day, when you are younger, it's okay. I'm not saying when you're younger, it's okay. When it's your first experience with love and you're still exploring, it's okay. But I think the maturer ones should now be able to show people how to transition from one mode of love when it is young, because we've not seen love graduate, unfortunately, for us. So it's like we're stuck on that mode. This must be done, this must be done. And they become the basis for fights and wrangles and tensions, because you had the whole year to plan for this and you had this and this. But now where we are in life, we should have evolved. We should have evolved out of it. Or if not out of it, evolved into a better way of having the day. I think so.
Na mtu hapa Gilbert anasema hapo on Twitter that it should be like any working day. Valentine's, just like any other day. It's just another working day. So to square to the expectations mingi sana. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think I'll just join into what Anita and Welly have said. Like, there's got to be this continuous assessment of a relationship. Somebody could have done so much within the whole past year. Then they're not able to do anything on the Valentines. You cannot use that to make judgment on that person. And just realistically, you know, as she mentioned, things like people have paid debts. You may have a good man who has just paid fees all over the place, has invested money, has done things. And generally, you know, there's not much money now. He's not supposed to go and borrow because he needs to take you out. You can actually postpone certain things that you want to do. Same way you can postpone your holidays. You don't have to go in deck. You can go in March. It's always about how the two of you agree. You're looking at your priorities. You don't buckle into the pressure of society just because everybody is going somewhere. The marketers are doing a good job saying, this Valentine's, don't miss out.
Including, you know, bang.
Yeah.
Special Valentine's offer.
Yeah, you don't have to do that because everybody must know where they are at. And relationships are very personal. Right. You must understand where your relationship is at, what is priority to you, what are the gains that you have made in that relationship. Again, you've got to understand personalities. There's some people who just, their personality, it's not their thing to be romantic in that manner. But they...
Mzuri kamera haijashika. Really, hatutaki unipigie saa 8. Useme bro ni aje lala kama.
Umelala.
Ni umelala.
Yeah, the guy's personality, you know, it's just not them. So you cannot judge them by that. And then there are other people, how they were socialized. They've never seen anything like that. And maybe it's a man who always was just being told a man is supposed to be like this. And then the men around him were acting in a certain manner. It is so difficult for him to suddenly, over one day, you know, pull the seats, open the car doors, bring the flower. It's not him. So you must also allow people to express themselves in a way that is authentic. They've got to show their love in a way that is not just pleasing you, but is a way that is authentic to them. Yeah.
And Anita, there's also this time where people are using this as the proverbial litmus test. Kusema kwamba this is now the time to know where you stand in this man's life. They use this day. Wasema kama ujama akisema ako busy on Valentine's, ama ni mgonjwa, ama there's some that some Gituko was reading for us here the other day. Ama we are working late. So so imagine saying that wametupigia tunasafiri. That then now you know as a lady that this is not the pali unakaa kwa maisha yake, and some use that even to know kama this guy is cheating. Do you think it's an accurate, let me use cheatometer or a barometer for relationship?
I'm going to go back a bit and say we live in a society of, he said, hypocrisy. So it's not about whether Valentine's actually means something to you. It's about what you show other people. And women love showing off. Men might want to take a back seat, but women want to show off. He got me this for Valentine's. It's not about whether he actually meant it. You don't even care if he meant it. You just need to show off. If you have something to show off, then you're good. And I made a joke last week, which people didn't take well. I said there's a main woman, there is a side woman, and then there's the others.
Miscellaneous.
So I said, if you're the main woman and he wants to give you a reason to show off, because men don't genuinely do Valentine's. I don't think there's a man who has genuinely ever done Valentine's. They just do it so that they can avoid the drama or the repercussions of not doing it. Just give her something to show off. She'll get off your back. I mean, most men will do that. So the main woman is going to get something to show off and is not going to raise hell. The side chick might get something to show off. It's a 50-50 of you're going to get a good lie that is well coated with something to cheer you up, or you would get nothing with a makeup later. But the others don't matter. So yes, it's a good cheatometer right now because no man wants drama during Valentine's. So women need to understand, most men, okay, I don't want to say all men, most men don't do Valentine's because they really mean it. Which man wants to dress in a red shirt in town in flowers? And they're like, they could be doing better things, kuna game near Manchester or something, but at the end of the day, they don't want drama. So they just do it to avoid the drama. So yes, it could be a good cheatometer because a man could be walking out of it and not telling you, and they know it's important for women. So ask yourself as a woman, if he's not doing something and he knows it's important for me, then why is he not doing it? I don't support it, but I think, yes, you would know if you're the main woman.
If it's important.
It is important for him not to get drama from you, so he would want to do it to avoid the drama. Not because maybe he doesn't even care or something, but he's going to do it just to avoid the drama. Yeah.
Hapo sasa, somebody says, good morning, my boyfriend works in Busia. I live in Nairobi. I'm the one in a position to travel to his place, but I cannot do that for Valentine's and leave my job unattended to. He insists I should go, but I told him work first and the rest shall follow. Valentine's is a scam. That's an SMS on 22422. She has mentioned something, that's why I read this SMS, what it means to the other person. And this is, yes, also for Valentine's, but just generally also in relationships. When you know something is important to the other party, like this one, this dude is saying, si ukuje wazi, hata kama ni job, omba ka leave, ka one day off, ukuje Valentine's Day. Might not be practical, but it's important to the gentleman, for reasons best known to him. For the lady, sometimes also, it might not be important to the gentleman, but the wife, the girlfriend, has said, for me, I'm big on Valentine's. So should you reach that compromise if it's important to your significant other?
I think all relationships operate in that compromise space if they're going to be long-lasting. And I also think that the commercial aspects of it and the comparison aspects of it should not hijack the realities on the ground. When something is highly commercialized, that means on 15th you'll be looking at the things you spent your money on and you'll be thinking, manzeni tupamba. Or I've seen people go on a Valentine date and argue and fight, and then they ask themselves, why did we pay all this and yet we? So the commercial value of it. On the other side, it's the comparison value of it, whereby I got you this and then you went to the office, you thought you had the real deal, and then somebody comes with another thing bigger than you. And so we have to know that relationships thrive in that compromise space. If I was to advise that man, I would tell him marry that girl, because love should thrive in a structure. A woman who is real enough to tell you that there is something bigger than the day you're talking about is somebody who has more structure. And when we remove love and structure together, because you always say love comes and disrupts or destabilizes the structure, but love needs some level of structure so that normal functions of life and normal identity of self is retained. If you love without structure, you will lose yourself. And when that person breaks your trust or that person misuses your resources, you're going to be so immersed in that person, you will not know how to recover yourself. So it needs some level of structure. And so even with this Valentine fever that is coming on, you need to ask yourself, how much can my structure carry? Is it in a position where we can compromise to have the day? And if it is not in that place, then you can work on another day, especially in this day and age. You can work on another day. And I speak this especially to the mature people, the mature couples, or the maturer people in society. The younger ones, you can allow them to still enjoy the fantasy of love, but the older ones should be able to demonstrate that, hey, love is not just about a day, a date, a meal here, a meal there. We don't want our young girls getting the illusion, he bought me flowers, he got me chocolates, he loves me. Those are just things you can buy without love. I can just go pick a flower and pick chocolates and give you and not even care about you, as she's trying to tell the younger ones here.
And so how do you have that conversation, Pastor Chris, because you're also very, you know, you're big on communication. You always say this, the background of communication. How do you communicate to either, A, this day doesn't mean so much to me, yet you know it may mean so much to the other person, or how do you communicate your feelings generally to your partner, especially when you know that maybe it's something that means so much to them, but you were trying to communicate that, okay, mimi siko hapo kwa hiyo level.
I think the worst thing to do is to wait for the day to come close and then communicate that it means nothing to you.
That's terrorism.
I think that's
He says that's terrorism.
yeah, that would be the worst. Because this is an expectation that you have seen over time.
Yeah.
So I think that in debunking some of those expectations, it's got to also be progressive. It can't just be today and say, you know, so it's Tuesday today, it's the 12th. Then you start saying, you know, Valentine means nothing. And this person has been looking forward to it. And that's where the element of the compromise also comes in. Well, it may not mean too much to me, but it means something to the other person. So we begin to find a way to compromise. That communication should be an ongoing thing, so that it's not just about the Valentine. It's just that this person gets to know the things that tick for me, the things that mean anything for me, and then the things that mean something for them. It's not just like people are into Valentine only. This will be somebody who is very sentimental. So you can pick up that your partner is sentimental. And so whether it's a Valentine or a birthday or something else, that would really mean something to them. It's not just about that particular day. And when you pick up that your partner is a sentimental person, then you also begin to let them know you may not be as sentimental. You are going to try, and if you're not going to do it well, then they should understand it. It's just a place where before there's drama, it's a place where you communicate certain things before there's any pressure on it, where you're like, you know, I don't do well with that, but I'm going to try. Then one time you do a gift or something, you say, did I do well? So they see the effort. It becomes more like a teamwork in it. Like you're trying to help them, then they're also trying to help you. When it gets to the place of like the Valentines, you know, it's easier then to talk about it, whether you're going to have it or not. But just to wake up on the 14th in the morning and then you're throwing hints, like I don't know why people are even so, why are people making noise about this day? Your partner is quiet, but they're not happy with it.
And I think also, just maybe to add to what Chris is saying, the unfortunate thing is because of our mainly men, you find that women love knowing what they want. Men love beauty, and then they'll get to know what they want. But as this woman is saying yes, she's saying yes with, and you'll hear, so where do you want me to be? Where do you want this to be? So the love of a woman comes very, very like an encyclopedia. They'll tell you, you know, I want 3 children, I want this. So we men, we are like, wacha tuingiane kwanza, tutonge hizo vitu mbele, tutonge mbele. And then you find yourself where Chris is saying that now the time to talk has come and it's 13th at night. But it should also serve as a lesson to us, especially when relationships are starting. And this is the assumption that ladies have. They think we love like them. We your beauty attracts us, and we make decisions that your personality and your beauty are the same, because you look good, you are good. And that's how simplistic men will make that decision, and then they'll start pursuing you. Yet you on the other side, you're thinking, hey, I have this, I want this, I need a man who is a priest. You go to seminar, you're told now you should be a priest, a prophet, and all these things, and you're thinking, hey, I just wanted you to ulikuwa msupu. I thought you'd make a very romantic person. Then now I've opened up 7 other functions that now I have to do. All of a sudden I have to be a priest, prophet, provider, protector. And now this man is finding himself by just kukatia that name. Nimejiongezea career ine.
I'm laughing so hard because it's painful when you say it. It's so painful, I can feel it. Oh, I can feel it in my stomach. But that's the saddest truth. If a guy hits on me, I told someone in studio the other day, every woman has a dream wedding. Yeah. I don't know if men know that. Every woman you're texting good night and good morning has a dream wedding. Like, she has everything. She just needs a man. She has even the gown, the theme color. We have everything. So when you show up, just know we already have a wedding.
Prepackaged.
Prepackaged. So that's why, as a woman, sometimes she's going to ask you, so where is this going? Because she needs to know. We don't want surprises. And you guys, you never know what you want. So we always feel the need to plan.
Roadmap, game plan.
I'm like, that's why if umekuwa ukiniambia, hi babe, kutoka January, it's Feb 14th. You guy, that hi babe should come into something. Like, I'm not asking, I'm going to pretend like I'm not asking, but trust me, if you don't do something, Feb 15th, your hi babe, I can reply you. And I can bet my life on that. You're going to get blue ticks for entire day. Then the guy is going to ask innocently, what did I do? Like, why were you hi babing me for a month? And you get asked.
So we should hi babe from Feb 15th.
Yeah, to start hi babing kutoka 15th, because then you know this guy is not serious. He's a joker. And that's the
transfer window.
As women, and that's why we get disappointed. Now back to your expectations. That's why we always get disappointed, because it's in our nature to plan. We are mothers, we are women, we plan. So when you say hi to a chick for 6 months, she already has babies with you in her mind. She has a home, umemlipia dowry, oh Lord, travel, you know, and we have planned all this. And I think that's the one thing women you need to work on, expecting too much from men who don't even know what they want. Beyond your face and your beauty, if you decide to be your real self and scream and bring drama, they will run. And you have to work on that.
I think sometimes it's also more than what the men knowing what they want. These expectations come from fellow ladies. You know, you sit as ladies together and then you begin to discuss what you think your perfect Valentine is. The person you're talking about is not in the room. The men are not there. So they have absolutely no idea to what these expectations are.
That you're watering.
And so the women are psyching each other up.
And
the
yet
men have
the
no
men
idea.
in question
should we loop you in our gossip sessions?
PSG versus Man U.
Should we loop you in our gossip sessions just a bit?
Then you see what happens. What happens is how they will communicate it then. How they will communicate it, because there's the expectation, but then most of the time it is not spoken. So you're expecting this man to know. It's obvious. It's the 14th. It's obvious. Every man does this. It's not obvious. It's not obvious. Absolutely. So if you don't find a way, like I say, to communicate certain things that are important to you to this man, he may just be thinking, look, we've got 3 children. They've just gone to school. I've spent so much money. Fees is quite something. You know, he probably supported something, took you on holiday over December. He thinks we've spent a lot. So Valentine is not a big deal. You're thinking it's a big deal.
Yes.
But to him, he thinks we've done important things, and then this year we've decided we need to buy a plot somewhere.
So Valentine's...
Which he thinks is doing for you. Which he thinks is doing for you because he wants to create that stability. So I think how women also communicate, sometimes they feel, okay, let the man just figure it out. It's obvious. Then sometimes, now when it is not done, then they do what she's saying, you know, so she's no longer talking to you, which is nearly like manipulation.
It's not.
It is manipulation.
It's just me asking you. I'm asking you to. You see, women do communicate, but in a weird way, in science.
So you agree with me?
Yes, we do. We do. But it's science. If you're walking in town and I'm like, oh, that dress. That's it. pick from that. We are walking and I'm like, oh, those shoes, like me, it would be shoes. I'm like, oh, those Vans. Anyway, please pick on that, because if we tell you, then you'll think we're too demanding. So we use signs and languages. And
you say, you know, men have got to be trained. Men just have got to be trained.
that's too much work.
When it comes
I know that when you say train, I know the thought that came to Anita's mind. But because it's morning TV, she just said that's so much work. But it is well, go on.
Yeah, men have got to be trained. You see, women are more trained from childhood.
Yeah.
Even the things they play with, the conversations, the people around them, they are trained for relationships. Men are not. Men are not. We out there, you know, you're figuring out how to fix a car, play football, go to war, and then somewhere along the line, disruption. There's this disruption. So the man has got to be trained. Anything you want to see in the man, you got to be courteous enough to communicate it. Communicate it, and they will learn. Then now you can judge a man based on what you have communicated and they did not do. Same way I always say, if a man has never said to you that he wants to go out with you, don't assume it. You know, if it has not been said, it does not exist.
Yeah. I also think that, I always say men are like dogs, women are like cats. And this is like, cats are always
like
clean.
dogs, not men are.
Like.
Don't crucify the guy.
Cats are always in their own space, defined. It's hard to see a breed of 13 cats because they don't build that kind of relationships. They take care of themselves, they clean themselves up, they make sure they're like that. When you see a dog obeying instructions, know that somebody somewhere used a lot of stick and time.
That's too much work.
And this is what, when a woman thinks they're communicating, they think saying is communicating. But men operate in a cultivated world. And that's the biggest word I would like to put in today, that what have you cultivated? Because a woman can bombard you with many things and then they tell you, no, I didn't mean that. Then you overlook that and say, well, that one I meant, and then this one, that one I didn't mean, then this one, that one I meant. So he's wondering, okay, maybe you're just clearing your word folder. Yeah. By the way, so you can say, oh, by the way, those are lovely shoes. Then I go get them. I didn't want them. I just said they were lovely. Okay, next time you say they were lovely, you wanted them. So it's how you cultivate. If you don't cultivate, you'll be communicating. And when a woman thinks that I have spoken, that I've communicated, you have not communicated. You've just stated the way I can walk in town. Now, ima 3 na wika. Tao, nene naika buru, buru, buru. All of them are stating where they are going. But in my mind, I'm already committed to wherever I want to go. And so you've got to cultivate. And by cultivate is that you have to find intentional, innovative, and consistent ways of making this person know clearly this and this and this is what I want to be, and this is what I want to do. And as we go for this, it will not be at the expense of this. And just make it wider. But just stating Valentine's is here, it will just go like, today it's hot.
Now, Nani Valentine's next week. We have some, which one do we start with, the tweets or SMSs?
No, Nani Valentine's.
SMSs? Okay, let's start with some SMSs. Tuone vile kuko. My parents, that was of a golden generation, 60 plus, did not celebrate Valentine's, and yet the golden generation is still married today, more than 20 years. So why celebrate Valentine's? Then Valentine's Day. Wa, even though imeandikwa hapo. Wa, ni siku ya watu kudanganyana. My ex-husband aliniletea maua aliyopatiwa na lava wake. So it's a crazy thing. Lovers have been together for long, and I believe they have been doing amazing to each other before. My request is that let them discover that this Valentine they can extend that love to some people who feel desperate, like visiting orphans, donating basic needs to the needy, or even visiting the sick. They will really appreciate. That is one Mary Kakenya. And then somebody says Valentine ni ya kupoteza wakati tu. Kama dem atosheki na mapenzi ya kila siku, wacha ikae. Kwani boss. Valentine nasikia na majirani. To me, it's just a normal day. Right, we also have some tweets, but there's let's look at some tweets. But there's a last one here. Even as we go for the tweets, kuna mtu anasema yule boy wa red ashawea Valentines mapema. Huyo boy wa red ni weli.
Here, fella.
Wagwa. All right, take a look at some tweets. So when it comes to truth, there is no middle ground. Even your silence shows whose side you belong to. Valentine's is a pagan holiday. Oh, Christus asa. The Ngosi. Valentine's should be spread out a letter per month. Sertoy says, Willis, how our week schedule should look. Today, Man United versus PSG. Wednesday, Spurs versus Borussia Dortmund. Thursday, Bate versus Arsenal. Our ladies, kindly understand us men. If you don't see us, elewa tu. The strength of the relationship shouldn't be based on how much money you spend. Instead, try to spend less money and then spend more time together. That is Abkura 40305811. Yes, those are the tweets that we have seen hapo hivyo. Ule jamaa ameshatusaidia akasema kwamba leo kuna PSG, kesho kuna Dortmund. Timu kubwa sana. Si timu ya kuangaliwa hivi hivi. Ni timu kubwa na ni UEFA. My friend. Alafu sisi lazima tu prepare, manake tuna Man U, I mean tuna PSG, kisha tuna Chelsea FA Cup. Kikombe kubwa tu. Alafu baada hiyo kuna Liverpool. We are busy. The next 10 days are critical for Man United.
And they're tough.
Critical. But anyway, there is also Thursday, which is Valentine's.
And I think, and that man, he may be speaking in a joking manner, but that is what he has cultivated in his life. That's the order. And
the order of things.
It's the order of things.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when these two come together, the man goes for the woman because she's beautiful at first, and then he begins to extract some qualities. But women, when they're making decisions about a man, you'll hear them saying, by the way, ako hivi, I like the way he does, I like the way he thinks, I like the way he does. And so they're deeper in their approach. But when you see a man, for him, those matches that he has put there, to the woman is thinking, but Manchester will be playing again on Saturday. This is not the only game.
On Monday, actually.
On Monday, again.
To be precise.
So you're thinking, she's thinking, you always, and they played just the other day.
Yes.
Why should you, but you are going up against a culture. That's cultivate. It has already formed a culture. Manchester United is an important part of his planning. And so for him to just stop suddenly, you have to cultivate something. But to just state, but then you need a come. Akwambe basi twende tukaione tukiona game. It's not that he hates you, but it's because already because that culture helps men build momentum. Because men are momentum builders and momentum followers. They go by momentum. And so kianza kukilio momentum anaanza kufila manzejo, awefa mentoa pooms.
Now this time is Thursday. In 2020, it will be Friday. In 2021,
it will be Saturday.
Itakuwa Saturday. Hizo ndo days za mamechi. 2022, it will be on a Sunday. Kitu kama Super Sunday happen. Man U versus Man City. So time is 7. Yeah. But
once the man builds culture and that momentum starts, he actually thinks you've already seen the rhythm of my life. So unajua mpaka unajua tu. That's why our friendships are consistent. You'll find a man atakwambia, we've been buddies with this guy for the last 8 years, 9 years. Women, you'll hardly hear. They'll say, oh, they'll kosana na saloonist because nilifika hiyo siku na nilimwambia na come, but akaanza na mtu mwingine, amenidharau. But for us men kwa kinyozi, that's normal. You say nina kinyozi wangu, as if he's your brother.
My personal, shout out to Tony by there, I'm coming there. I've been with Tony since I started working at Citizen.
Look at that.
He's moved 4 times and I've moved with him.
Moved with him. That's men.
But why do I feel like, when you say the cultivating and all this, why do I feel like we're having to do so much for men? Because I'm walking into this relationship, I have to train you. Is that my job? Like, should it be my job to train a man into the emotional side? That's not my job. If I'm coming trained and I'm coming as a woman who's ready and to get into a relationship, why am I training? No offense, this always comes out wrongly. Should I train my kids or am I going to train you? And then also my point is, if I have to teach you everything, can you just go to school and come ready? Because I'm not willing to invest this time loving you and training you, and you still won't get it.
You see, the thing is that you are all this trained, yet you are needy. and if the training really works, with all this training, you still feel the urge for him to be and to be.
And to do.
And yet you're trained. That tells you there is a void in women that comes alive or is met when they come and meet a man. Now, if a man came like you, you'll say he's controlling. I've seen ladies say that if your man can cook, be careful, because you'll be putting food on his table and say, why did you put that? Now, why did you put this? And you get these guys who can cook and is a clean freak. Now you'll be walking in and I'll hey, shoes, move them kidogo to the left. There's that shoe place. Why? Those ones who come trained, the ladies say, man, staying with my man is like staying with another parent of mine. So it is important for us to know, even if you're trained, women still retain that needy sense in them that a man comes to me.
But it's not, I don't think it's needy, I think it's emotional, because if you say needy means we need men, we don't really need to breathe with men.
You do.
No, we don't.
You do.
Trust me. I'll pass.
And when it comes to the thing of the training, you see, mostly men are okay whether you communicate or not.
Oh Lord.
They're okay. They're okay. It's you who will need that communication. The man is okay. He can go and watch football and do stuff like that, and he's fine. He doesn't need to be checked up all the time. If his work is going on, he's got some money, he's got a few things. When he feels that he's free, he checks out and he goes out. Because he's wired very differently. But here you function more from the emotional side.
Yes.
And so you're going to need this man to understand that you don't function like he does. He functions very logically. That's why most of the men who are here, they're wondering, what is Valentine's for? Because they're thinking that money should have done something else. That time can be used to do something else. What's the big deal about setting aside a Thursday, having to beat traffic to catch up with you somewhere? You'll end up reaching there about 10 p.m. just so that they can give you a flower and a chocolate and something, and he's thinking then the next day I've got an early morning. So he's thinking logically. But to you, that effort is everything. You're thinking, my goodness, he actually made it. So you're looking at the effort. He's thinking, that was such a waste of time. You know? So you've got to make the man understand where you're coming from. Otherwise, then he won't do it. And then you're the one who gets broken. And that's why ladies are so mad with men. They keep on, they keep on complaining they're no good men, men are not committed and all of that. But it's because the men really don't understand. Like I said, men don't really understand the important things to the woman. So you don't look at it as work. You don't look at it as work. I think the men have done a great job in making the women understand that football is an important part of them. There are more women today watching football with their men. Because the men communicated. The men communicated the importance of that, and then the women figured out, okay, it won't hurt me sitting over there and watching a match with him. That's the same thing you've got to do. That's the same thing that the women must do. Like, let the man understand what means much to you. Yeah.
So how many times do you have to do that training?
Training is done until somebody perfects it.
Oh, Lord.
Nikaz, that's what they say, relationships, nikaz. All right, let's take a look at some tweets. I'm told we have some tweets that tunataka tuangalie pale mu Twitter. Julius Kering says, every day should be Valentine's. Forget about Feb 14th if you didn't love for 365 days. Surely, Willis, one can spend $1 million to prepare for a day, yet he can't use that $1 million in a month. People should just think out of the box. Numbers 9:11. The 14th day of the second month at even they shall keep it and eat with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Watu wapewe managu na bitter herbs. Meditation thing, yadano. I believe Valentine's is a day of pretense, I use one particular day to showcase love, then go back to factory settings. Besides, nowadays it's done for social media, for people to see what various partners are capable of. The last one says, the person who removed 29th and 30th day from February should have also removed the 14th. Asija akatusumbua hapa. Ati ho ama ho. Right. Anyway, it is also important to note, though, that for those Bible scholars, hiyo siku ya wanasema hivyo, it was the second Passover, that is around April and May. The Hebrew months are quite different from ours. Sisi tunatumia Gregorian calendar. Just a bit of scholarly language I learned from my good friend Robert Hadambiluyali. Yeah. We continue. Anyway. So even as we do our final remarks, is that I've seen also some comments. People are saying also that, so are we saying that showing love on Valentine's is wrong? Because like you said, our to a young tax, saizi wakifika, naonanga pia wazae wananunia mtu karozi, chukua daring, chukua hii, uone na kupenda. Hatuko ma 65, 45, 55, 85. So are we saying that during this time, what are we saying? Are we saying that we should not? Because some guys would just tune in and say, so saizi mtu amesema, babe, are you watching Citizen? Wana kitu weli anasema, sikia sije Atemo. Ebu sikia ni tarehe. They could be using you guys as scapegoats for the day.
I think maybe what you're trying to put out there is, it's going to be, don't give in to the pressure of trying to do or make one day in a month to hinder you from not being able to live qualitatively the remaining days of the month. That's where the compromise should be. If the day can still happen and you can still be able to live qualitatively the entire period of the month, then it's okay. And it's okay to even do it for 4 days. Start on 14th Thursday and move all the way through Sunday. Monday. Come back on Monday, rejuvenated. But if the pressure, you're just under the pressure of trying to do something because your wife or your husband has not done something and somebody else, just do you. And whoever's out there, embrace your relationship in the phase and stage that both of you are. Don't try to make your relationship become a carbon copy of somebody else, because they may have flowers and chocolates in the streets, but they're having feasts and kettles in the house. So don't let what we do on social media or what we do in the public or having dinner outside make you think that, because everybody reports how good their thing is, but they hide their skeletons until the day it cracks. So that's what I think would say.
Right. And anyway,
I think just to pick up on that, and nobody posts their failures, in life. Nobody. We only post the beauty, the success, the glam. And personally, I genuinely don't support Valentine's, because I think you do not need one day in an entire year, and I'm going to say that, to tell someone you love them and dress in red. Who said red? Red is danger. Should scare all of you, actually. and get roses. And it would be more romantic if someone surprised you on the 1st of March, out of the blues. That's nice. It actually means they thought about it and they mean it. But Valentine's is more because everyone else is doing. It's not more because anyone means it. So ask yourself this Valentine's. Did he buy flowers to avoid your drama for not buying them? Did he buy flowers because he meant them? Did he take me out because he had to? Was he forced? Was he manipulated into it? Why are you celebrating Valentine's? That's the question you should ask. And also remember, as I've been told today, which I think I'm going to take forever to learn, train them. I don't know why you're training them. Train them. I don't know if you train them, they're going to buy someone else after you train them, but train them anyway. So train them that roses are red, violets are blue, and men should be trained.
You train them for you, Anita. You train them for you. I think, I think because different people love different things, feel appreciated in different ways. You can't just make an assumption that what Anita likes is what somebody else likes. And that's where the training comes in, so that this person understands the things that are important to you and the things that you appreciate. But again, I would say, people need to develop their own culture. They just need to learn how to develop their own culture of love. so that they also bring out their own communication of that love, something that they can be consistent with. Not something somebody is going to be calling somebody and say, you know, can you get a rider to bring me flowers? I'm around the corner over here, so get me those flowers so that there's no fight in the night. I once had a case where, you know, it was an anniversary for a couple, and then this lady, so they all over on Facebook, and she's sitting with the hubby and she's writing everything on Facebook, and then the hubby is quiet. So she says, babe, why are you not putting anything up over there? You see, they're sitting on the couch, but she's feeling the pressure for the man to say something on social media. Yet they're here. You can tell each other whatever you want to say to each other. And that's where I say, you know, develop your own culture. Get your own communication. Find what's important for you. What stage are you at? If somebody just got a job the other day, they may not afford something. You can postpone that. If it is something that you love, you can also become very creative. You know, you can become creative around those kind of things like Valentines and stuff. Then again, look at personalities. Look at how people are socialized. Let's not just, you know, in Africa today, I think we're in an identity crisis where we are both modern and traditional at the same time. You know, for some people, flowers really means nothing. But then now you've got to do it because it means something to somebody else. Well, eventually, the two of you will make it work for how you think it should. And it's going to take a compromise. Yeah.
What about for those, you know, I've just realized, you know, maybe you can take just a brief, for people who, sometimes people feel a lot of pressure. They might not have been in a relationship. They might not have somebody to celebrate Valentine's with. And sometimes there's so much pressure to the extent that some ladies actually buy flowers for themselves. So what would you say, maybe just around again for those who don't have...
If you're that lady, it's always good to celebrate yourself. Be kind to yourself. Let love find you kind to yourself. Don't wait for love to bring kindness. And by love, I mean somebody else. Self-love. If nobody's there to buy you flowers or chocolates, there's nothing wrong with doing your aromatherapy in your room and saying, oh, that man will find some good soft velvet skin when he lands, when the time comes, or you going yourself and carving your muscles. It's okay because we cannot be so kind to yourself that when the person comes, you tell him, do you know why you loved me? Because I was kind to myself. But if you've been nasty, hostile, angry, aggressive, frustrated, disappointed, I will love you. I'm speaking as a man. I will see your beauty and love you. Then I will not see the nasty, angry, frustrated, disappointed part. When I run into those things, men are scared of communication. So they will find actions to protect themselves so that they don't experience that. So kindness to yourself is welcomed every day of your life. It starts there. It's the best relationship you can have with yourself.
I think, I'm sure everybody's waiting for me to answer that. My co-host on radio cracked yesterday, like he laughed genuinely.
Yes.
He was like, what are you going to do for Valentine's? I was like, sleep. He was like, you don't feel pressure? I was like, of what? Why would I feel... Why would I want, you know, people make one mistake. They live for other people and not for themselves. So why would I want to strain and buy chocolate that I buy every day for myself? I love chocolate. I buy that every day. So why am I making it one day special enough to go buy roses? I buy roses when I want to. People need to understand that even if you're alone, it has nothing to do with anyone else. You don't feel the need to justify yourself to the world. Oh, I'm single and strong. Oh, please, sister, just leave it. Enjoy your day. And as you said, people are different. Some people are moving and cuddling is enough Valentines. Save yourself from outside pressures and just do you. If being in a dera all day is going to make you happy on Valentine's, then do it. It's all about you. Good and I keep telling people, love yourself to always choose you. It's not about anyone else on Valentine's. Even when you're dating, it's not about anyone else. It's about how the day makes you feel. So if you're single on Valentine's, please do you. If you want to buy roses for yourself, please buy roses. If you want to buy cake and spoil yourself. It's all about you. Yes.
You know the various reasons why people are single. They're those who are single by choice. They've just chosen, at this stage in my life, I want to be by myself. And I think that's a very good place to be. Because at that place, you can easily show off the pressure. You're not under pressure because this is a personal choice that you have made. Then those who are single because things did not work out. And sometimes those are the ones who have got to keep on talking about, you know, even though I'm single, I'm fine. I can love myself. I can do this. I can do that for myself. I think that if you have to explain it, you're not it.
True. What?
If you have to explain it, you're not it. If you're okay as single, you won't even need to say, look, I'm single and loving on myself. Because you won't even notice. You won't even notice. You don't have to announce every day, Willis, that I'm a man. Anita doesn't have to announce every day that she's a lady. You know, you're it. You don't have to explain it, and it doesn't bother you. And we're sitting here, 3 men and 1 lady, and she doesn't have to keep on saying I'm the lady in this room, because you're it. So I think that most of that pressure comes from the people being insecure internally. It's an internal issue. So you feel like, you know, you've got to do something for yourself or something. Because at that point, you're also just trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
If you're okay, you can actually do what she said. Yeah. Go and sleep, sit, wake up the next day. You got a life to live that is beyond this 14th. But if you choose that you want to do something on the 14th for yourself, go ahead and do it. But never allow your relationship status to define you.
Right. And lastly, don't become inspirational speakers on the 15th for failed Valentines. We don't want to deal with that. We have a lot of issues going on in life. On the 15th, I don't want to go on the gram and people are all strong and resilient and everything. We know you're crying.
We're doing this for us.
We know you're crying.
We're doing this for the culture. All right. Well, asanteni sana. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Lady and gentlemen, tumeshukuru sana. I like that if you have to explain it, you're not it. Yeah, and also train them. I would like to say asante sana for watching. Tumeshukuru sana. Like we always say, kila relationship iko na katiba yake. So you guys sit down and decide what your katiba is, what your constitution is, and then you adhere to it. And then when and that katiba also has, if you fail to do this, we'll do this. Tutaongea juu ya hii, itakuwa sawa. So at the end of the day, don't feel pressure. Get in. And like I've said, if you don't have somebody this Valentine, celebrate yourself. You have many more months. And next Valentine, who knows? You could be na huyo mtu sasa, then now you'll have another problem. For now, celebrate yourself and your space. Haya, tutakutana tena hapa next Tuesday, Mungu akijalia, na najua anajalia, anatupenda sana. God loves you and that will never change. And successful people look like you, and like we will see tonight, like the great Manchester United. There are many people who are saying many